conscious being has total freedom in its own existence versus determinism. But now dramatically, Sartre says that my freedom as a conscious being enters my own existence. Consciousness is totally free, undetermined, and thus spontaneous. Since I am totally free, my past does not determine what I am now. Between myself as I am now and my past, I have put a gap, nothingness. I am free from my past. Take the case of a gambler. Sartre says, who has resolved that he will gamble no more. When he is confronted with the gaming tables today, his past resolution does not determine what he does now. He finds that he is totally free. He is not determined by his past resolution. This new situation requires that he make a new choice, a choice that is totally free and wholly unpredictable as to its consequences, since conscious beings are totally free. We may add to Sartre's example of the gambler other cases of the spontaneity of consciousness and its freedom from the past. Doesn't every alcoholic, every compulsive eater, everyone addicted to cigarettes or drugs recognize the truth of Sartre's point that conscious beings are totally free? Every time I am confronted by whatever my temptation, I discover that I am free, that yesterday's resolution does not determine what I do now, that now I must choose again. Will I or will I not stick to my resolution not to drink, take drugs, smoke, or overeat? This is the freedom of conscious being which we all painfully discover. Just as my past does not determine what I am now, so what I am now does not determine my future. Suppose I choose from among my possibilities to become a writer. Since I am totally free, my future actions are not determined by this choice to become a writer. What I will actually do at a future moment of uncertainty about my writing career will be a totally free action on my part, a new choice, and wholly unpredictable. Every writer who has ever suffered from publishers' rejections or from writer's block is painfully aware of this. And so I begin to understand what it is to be totally free, and I experience this as anguish. I feel anguish in discovering that my freedom destroys, annihilates the determining force of my past decisions and of my pledges for the future. But Sartre firmly opposes any mode of determinism which will relieve this anguish. Sartre is here making explicit his position with regard to the old philosophic controversy between determinism and the doctrine of free will. The whole of being and nothingness may be seen as a passionate defense of freedom as the essential characteristic of human beings. But he believes he has gone beyond the established positions taken in the determinism free will argument in his concept of situation, which he develops in the following way. Against Freud, Sartre argues that I, as conscious being, cannot logically be regarded as causally determined by unconscious forces by antecedent psychological conditions of my life. Against Marx, Sartre argues that I am not determined by the mode of production and class conflict of my society. Marx, according to Sartre in Being and Nothingness, asserted the priority of object over subject. But do not the sciences of the 20th century regard me as totally determined, not totally free? Do they not explain me as the inevitable necessary product of an overwhelming set of conditions, biological, psychological, social, economic, and historical? Then do not these conditions determine me? Are they not responsible for what I am or do? Sartre savagely denounces determinism of any types, Marxian, Freudian, or scientific, for viewing human beings as if they were causally determined things, within the region of being in itself, rather than as free conscious beings. Sartre argues that my facticity, by which he means the contingent circumstances or facts of my life, may be biologically, psychologically, socially, and economically determined, but as conscious being I choose the meaning they have for me. As a free act of consciousness, I transform this facticity by my choice of meanings and possibilities, by my projects into my situation. By situation, Sartre means an organization of the world into a meaningful totality from the viewpoint of a free individual. I live in the situation I have structured, which is a world of my own making. The world as it is for me, by the meaning I choose to give the facts of my life, and by the projects I choose for my future. I cannot say the conditions under which I have lived have made me as I am and are responsible for what I do, but for my conditioning, psychological, economic, or social. I would be so-and-so. Deterministic conditioning, Sartre argues, is only the casually ordered region of being in itself, the world of facts and things. In complete distinction from the casually determined world of facts, I am free as a conscious being, choosing the meaning I will give the facts in my situation. Quote, no factual state, whatever it may be, the political and economic structure of society, the psychological state, etc., is capable by itself of motivating any act whatsoever. For an act is a projection of the for itself toward what it is not, and what is can in no way determine by itself what is not. Unquote. A man is always free, said Sartre during the German occupations of France, to be a traitor or not. This is Sartre's solution to the free will versus determinism controversy. We are free in the sense that we make ourselves out of what conditions have made of us, out of our past. We cannot change these facts, but we are free in giving them meaning in our own situations, which we construct and reconstruct as our meanings and projects change. And so, in fierce opposition to the view that the facts of the world make a man an alcoholic or a drug addict, Sartre argues that an alcoholic lives in a world of his own making, by the meaning he has chosen to give his life, and by choosing to live it as an alcoholic. Are you an alcohol or food or drug or tobacco or pornography addict? Are you addicted to masochism or to sadism and a way of life? Sartre says you have chosen this and that you are free to choose another way to live your life. You are free to construct a new situation for yourself with meanings and projects which you choose. Nothing in your past prevents you. You are not solely determined by your past.